Santa came early. This is a 6 cent Super 6 box for December. They send you this cool little bag again. Let's open it up and see what's in it. It's like a fisherman's explosion. Start off with this monster. A 500 DD, oh my glare. Crush 500 DD is a deep diving crankbait. Holy cow, a rod sock, or rod sleeve, whatever you want to call it. A Splashback 70 little popper. A Flat Crush 75. A Movement 80X. Don't be eyeballing my peanut butter M&Ms. 6 cents Divine Jig swim jig heads, 1/2 ounce. That's pretty cool. Let's take a little deeper look at some of these sexy babies. First thing I want to look at is this rod sleeve or rod sock, whatever you call them, or whatever. I mean, I call them rod sleeves. Some people call them rod socks. I guess the original company may have been Rod Sock, but this one is way different. This one's cool as crap. You can hook this onto your reel. That way your rod sleeve don't pull off. It's made of neoprene, so you don't have to worry about your hooks getting caught in the little fiber. You have a hook on the end, so you can either tie your rods together or you can hang them up. Again, neoprene. This one probably fits up to 7'4", 7'6", somewhere in there. This thing is super heavy duty. I am stoked about this, and it's gray and orange. The glare in my house is sucking right now, and it's rainy outside, or I would go outside, but I don't know. Let's see if we can get it to focus. It looks brown, but it's gray and orange, and I'm a Tennessee fan, so that's perfect. Next up is this Crush 500 DD and a Ghost Shad pattern, I think is what it is. Ghost Pro Shad. Ghost Pro Shad. Ow, crap. All their lures come with amazing hooks. This paint job is super nice. It has good rattles, a nice wide bill, so you should get a lot of good action on it. This thing is 1 ounce and 3/4, so you're going to need a heavy cranking rod for this. And I would recommend probably 14 to 20 pound test cranking fluorocarbon would be what I use, but I fish in some funky root systems and stuff like that, so that is what I would use. It dives down to anywhere between 22 and 28 foot. I have a 7.4 heavy rod that is very tippy and has parabolic action like no other. So that's what I will probably be using. It is a Dobyns Colt. It's one of their cheaper series, but that thing is perfect for medium size swim baits and deep diving crankbaits. That's what I use it for. It may not be its perfect, I don't know what the word is, perfect technique for it, but I use that and for swim jigs. So again, this is a phenomenal bait, especially in the winter. They school up, pile up deep down, run this through there, and you're going to get bit. Follow up with a drop shot or follow up with a swim bait. It gives off a little slower action, and if you were to put on one of these Divine jig heads, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Let's open this. These things have super stout hooks. So yeah, this is a 1/2 ounce. It has the twist lock or screw lock bait keeper. I would use anywhere from a 5-inch to 6-inch little soft body swim bait. These things right here are super stout hooks, which is what you want when you're fishing down deep water. You know, you don't want to, it's harder to set the hook maybe, but when you're talking, you're setting the hook from 20 foot deep, you want to be able to lean into it and know you're not going to bend the hook out, especially if you hook into a monster. Anywhere from 14 to 20 pound fluoro for me. The color on this is Sexy Filled Shad, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what it says. Sexified Shad, okay. This is, again, one of the best cold water baits you can throw. Slow roll it on the bottom. It stands up whenever it's not being messed with. Super stout hook again. This is perfect for this time of year, even in summertime. But throwing this, letting it sink to the bottom, you get through all the small fish, and that's where your big girls are going to be laying. And then when you get to the pre-spawn, you're going to have fish that are munching on swim baits for sure. Next up is the Splashback 70. It is 3/8 ounce popper. It has a really cool shaped mouth that helps it cup water very good. It's not like your standard popper where it's rounded all the way around. It's squared, so it really sends the water out. I mean, it makes it look like something's going crazy on top of the water. This is a hot ghost herring or ghost hot herring. Ghost hot herring. I have a little 6/8 or 610 jerkbait rod that I would throw this on with 12-pound test mono or braid. I would use, 30-40 pound braid. You don't want to use fluoro with poppers because it'll make it sink and you can't walk the bait as good and pop it. But this is another pretty good bait. It's a little chilly right now for top water, but you never know. When you see fish schooling and they're feeding, then they will eat a popper for sure. But this is the perfect size to mimic little bait fish. So don't be scared to throw it. I throw top water all year long. Next is the Movement 80X. Probably one of my favorite baits. This thing has so much action. It's literally like an underwater chatterbait or a treble hooked chatterbait. That's a tongue twister. I don't know why I said underwater. All lures pretty much go underwater, but this is a treble hooked chatterbait. It's got a lot of action, a lot of rattle, puts off a lot of commotion, good for stained water and in clear water because it looks, the paint job on these things are so sick. You don't understand because of the glare, but if you've ever used 6th Sense, I guess you would understand. But they're all hand painted, and this is one of their, home run hitting lures. You can't go wrong. Tough days, hot days, cold days, I'm picking one of these up. I don't leave home without this or the L7, which dives a little deeper. This one goes 1 to 3 foot, 5/8 ounce. I'm using the exact same rod that I would use for the popper. It's the same one that I use for square bills and smaller topwater walking baits. I'll use fluoro on this instead of mono though, because I want it to dive down a little deeper. If I hold my rod tip down, or I can hold my rod tip up and kind of wake it. But it's a fish catching machine. And last but not least is the Crush 75 Crush Flat 75X. Let's crack it open. This color is Gizzard Shad. It's a little square bill, silent. It's thin, so it'll have very little, it won't have as much wobble. It'll run tight. These are good for cold water or high pressured areas. This is what you want whenever they're not biting. You don't need them getting finicky from something coming through with a bunch of rattles. This just looks like a natural little fish bouncing off cover, and again, like I said, no rattles. What you do here is the weight transfer system. This color is Gizzard Shad. Throwing the exact same setup that I'm throwing the other stuff that we talked about. I have a 610 topwater square bill jerkbait rod with a Concept Z. I'm throwing 15-pound fluoro and hanging on for a bite. I mean, This box all has fish catching phenomenal baits and something awesome to protect your fishing rod. I mean, it's good when you get nice equipment to fish with, and it sucks whenever you break something because you didn't have the right stuff to protect it. Again, this is the 6 Sense Super 6 box. They sent me pretty much all the same color scheme. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but it's pretty cool. It's all shad pattern. You don't get the crappy topwater bait that's the color of a crawfish. You don't see very many topwater crawls. They don't splash around on the top of the water very often. But again, the Super 6 box for December. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy 4th of July. Or Happy 4th of July. Good God. I am so tired, guys. A Happy New Year. And be safe in all your travels. And enjoy your family. And have quality time. Hope you get to get on the water. Snag some slaunches. But either way, guys, have a great time. Happy holidays. Tight lines.